Good morning. It's good to be back after a week away. I'm Reverend Lyon, your minister here at Heritage Universalist Unitarian Church. We are blessed with your presence, so I hope that you feel present, and I hope you feel present throughout this service. We come not to empty our lives, but to make room within them. I think Tracy Joe would like to welcome you.
Welcome. Bill said to Heritage Universalist Unitarian Church, and whether you've walked through those doors 100,000 times or this was your first or second time, whether you're joining us on Zoom or at some future time, we welcome you. Ours is a welcoming tradition, and we are very glad that you're here. I encourage you, and I'm Tracy Joe, I encourage you to do what I did this morning, which is to either put your phone on silent, but it actually works better for our sound system if you would turn your phones off. So we'll have no other distractions, so we can concentrate on sacred subtraction.
And I have just a few announcements I thought I would share with you. We didn't get a chance to rehearse our color commentary stuff, but like right after the service, there's something called potluck. What's that all about?
Potluck is a beautiful, wonderful time to come together, whether you purchased something, whether you prepared something, whether you go into the refrigerator like I did this morning and just pulled out some things and made a casserole. That's what I did this morning. There's always enough, and we'll have some time right after the service to set up the tables, put the food out, and have community meal.
It's also a great chance while you're at potluck, if you haven't already downloaded the church app for Heritage. Who's already downloaded and uses the church app?
Oh, uses.
Okay, well, if you have it, if you don't have it, you can get it, and Kelly Viano and maybe others will be in the makerspace available to help you set that up. Most who are using it are finding it's very helpful for at least a few things. We hope you'll try it. Speaking of that, this is the app. We're also still working, in the fall, we'll be kind of diving into a refresh of our website. So if you're interested in helping with that, you don't have to be a tech-savvy person. You could be a person who likes reading websites, like saying, hey, this would be helpful. If you're interested in that, you could let me know, or we have these connection cards. And these cards are a great place, especially in the summer when many of us are away, to communicate something that you need or something you'd like to volunteer for you. But if you're brand new, and I see some new faces, welcome. This is a great chance for us to know that you're here and stay in touch with you if you'd like that. What else? Oh, this is also how many years for our congregation?
It's not 250 because
No.
that was our country.
No.
That was our country. But 199.
We're 199 years old. This is our bicentennial year, and we could use a few folks on a bicentennial planning committee. A few folks have already volunteered, but if you'd like to be a part of that, put it on the card or see me. And with that, I'd like to invite Lacey Lee Adams up for our call to worship.
We have all come carrying something, a hope, a question, a memory, a burden. This morning, we bring all that is with us, and together we ask, what deserves a place in our hearts? What deserves our time? What deserves our care? May this hour help us to make room for what matters. Come, let us worship together.
Thank you, Crosley, for lighting our chalice. And a UU congregation, that's the moment that the worship begins. So thank you for inviting that for us. The other thing we do to make things begin is we sing usually. So we have a new hymn. The words will appear up here, but I think you'll catch on pretty quickly. I've heard this song for quite a while, and we've probably done it here before, but it was known by the words, "Ours is a simple faith, Those are good words as well, but now they go by the words, we are a living faith. And they appear in the brand new online hymnal that we are now subscribers of. So you're going to get a chance to sing some new music over the coming year. And Finn, if you put the words up, and Sherry, you'll show us what it sounds like, we'll dive right in. And if you don't mind rising as you're willing and able, we'll sing that and we'll stay standing for our covenant.
Ours is a living faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. No room in this heart for fear. No judgment day drawing near. Trust that inner voice you hear every day. Life's not a goal or race. It's about heart and faith and living a life of grace every day. Trust is an open hand, making an honest stand. Rooted here in the land every day. Live in the mystery, seeking the harmony here between you and me every day.
Standing.
Imagine our covenant is right up there.
And we could say it, yeah, we could say it without the words, but it's helpful to have it in print. By this covenant, we affirm that
Well, there we go. I would love to have some of the younger folks who might find coming up here interesting, maybe even magical, to come forward if they'd like to. We have some, you can actually sit in these seats right up here if you'd like to. Anybody can come up. You can, if you change your mind, you want to come up, come on up. Even if you're a kid who's above a certain age. I thought maybe I'd tell you a story. Is that okay? All right. We'll see if you like this story. Once upon a time, that's how the best stories start, you know. Once upon a time, something magical happened. My parents let me stay up really, really late. That's not the most magical thing that ever happened, but I was pretty young and it was not normal, so it felt kind of special. And what made it really special, is it wasn't just any night. We were out on a farm, far away from the town and the city lights. And do you know what you can see when you don't have all those lights from the city? If you look up, you know what you can see? What? You can see stars, and you can see the moon, and you can see all kinds of things that we often don't see. Yeah, Rowan?
You can see the North Star.
You can see the North Star. That's right. But first thing I saw was a moon, and it was a full moon. It might have been one of those, what do they call them, super moons, that was so big. Normally it looks like a little golf ball up there. It looked like a grapefruit. It was that big. And my mom said that she believed that the moon and the planets had magical properties. And I don't know why. I still kind of believe that. Maybe because my mother told it to me, or maybe because I have so many friends who've taught me a lot about earth-centered religions and an appreciation for the natural world. But anyway, that's what I noticed, was that I could see that moon. So I thought what I'd do for you is I'd try to make a picture of the moon with this napkin. But to make it more challenging for me and maybe a little bit more interesting for you, I thought I'd try to do it with a single tear. One single tear. Now I'm not going to quite detach it. There it is. So you can see as I detach it there. Keep an eye on this. I'm going to put it right there so you can keep an eye on it. And let's see how I did at creating a picture of the moon with this napkin. I mean, not bad for a single tear. Have you ever seen The Man in the Moon? I know it's a silly old dad joke, but I'm a silly old dad. So anyway, the moon was there and it was coming across the sky, and as it rose above the horizon and further up, I noticed something else. I noticed a star. And I asked my mother, if the moon has special properties, what about a star? And she said, oh yeah, especially that first star. And she taught me something about that star. Maybe you've heard it. If so, you can say it with me. Starlight, star bright, first star I've seen tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might, have this wish I wish tonight. You all know my mother. Anyway, I wished that I could do magic. And my wish came true. But you know what I should have wished? I was too young, I didn't think about it. Let me show you with this circle. I should have wished to be just like that star. Because then, if I were like that star, I could have anything I wished for. And maybe I could give other people what they wished for, and that's why I've made this star just for you. And you. And you, and you, and you, all of you. I've made it for all of you. And I actually have one for each of our young people. You may have one if you'd like to take with you. Because you bring light into our lives. And so as you head out to make something yummy for a potluck, which is what I think you're going to do for us, I'll take one. We'd like to bless them. So repeat after me if you will. We bless the light within you.
We bless the light within you.
We honor the magic within you.
We honor the magic within you.
And we will always be here for you, and we love you.
And we will always be here for you, and we love you.
You can go to your classes now. Thanks. Oh, Miss Lacey, make something yummy for potluck.
If you'd rather stay in, you can stay in too. It's all fine.
As we continue our reflection this morning, and it's wonderful to watch the children. Blessings on them as they go. We used to sing, as the children would leave, we used to sing a song now called Go Now in Peace. And we realized after a while that we needed to change that because the children started to sing it as Go Now and Pee. They were kids. So it still sticks in my head that way. So your blessing was so much better. As we continue our reflection this morning, these words from Muskogee poet and former U.S. Poet Laureate Joy Harjo invite us to simply remember. This poem, entitled Remember, comes from her collection, She Had Some Horses. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon, know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn, that this is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away tonight. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth, we are earth. Remember the plants, the trees, animal life, all who have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them. Listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember, you are all people, and all people are you. Remember, you are in this universe, and this universe is in you. Remember, all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember, language comes from this. Remember, the dance language is that life is. Remember.
Thank you, Tracy Joe. Sometimes silence is a nice gift also, isn't it? Sometimes it's in the silence or those spaces in between, the things that turn a napkin into a moon or a star, the spaces in between. When we gather by ourselves or with others in person or online, and the invitation comes to acknowledge what we carry, the sorrows, the joys. And so we're going to invite that time here, the time to reflect on what is joyful, what is sorrowful in your life. And you may want to share that. You may want to just ask Tracy Joe to light a candle for that thing, or you may want to accept the microphone and tell us your name and very briefly what's on your heart. We don't necessarily need the whole story, but it's helpful to name a thing that we're carrying so that others can help you carry it, or if it's joyful, others can help you carry it too. So we'll see if there's, we didn't have anything that came to us previously by email, so what we'll do is, as you have a joy or sorrow, you can kind of come from the sides up to the front, nod to Tracy Joe, and she'll light a candle or accept the microphone, tell us what's on your heart. And for those on Zoom, we're so glad you're with us. You are part of this community. Please just chat your joy or sorrow, and we'll share those later. Are there joys or sorrows among us?
Each week here at Heritage, we give away our offering plate. It's a very unusual custom for many churches, and we've been doing that for a number of years. So all of the money that's collected today will go to the Cincinnati Recycling and Reuse Hub. If you want your offering to stay here at Heritage for any reason, there are blue envelopes in the back of the church. And if you would like to have that. Well, I was feeling, wow, my ego was just getting a big boost there, and I realized you were doing the QR code. I thought you were taking pictures of me. What? Not. Since 2021, 1.9 million pounds have been saved from the landfill we just call it the hub. Many of you have been there. Many of you may have not been there. The donations we collect today will support their community programs and education. I encourage you today, especially since we have a potluck, to look in our kitchen, to look at what's at the potluck. Go home and look in your own life and realize that the hub encourages us, tells us we can do better. We can make better choices. We don't have to purchase everything in single-use plastics. So this is for education for all of us.
Is enjoying the passage of time. Any fool can do it. There ain't nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. But since we're on our way down, might as well enjoy the ride. The secret of love is in opening up your heart. It's okay to feel afraid, but don't let that stand in your way. 'Cause anyone knows that love is the only road. And since we're only here for a while, might as well show some style. Give us a smile. Isn't it a lovely ride? We're sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. The thing about time is that time isn't really real. It's just your point of view. How does it feel to you? Einstein said we could never understand it all. Planets spinning through space, the smile upon your face. Welcome to the human race. Some kind of lovely ride. I'll be sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. Isn't it a lovely ride? Oh, see me sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
The morning's offering is gratefully received.
Let me tell you a story. That's how they all begin, right? Actually, it's a story you'll get to live because in a little while, not that long, we'll be in the Great Hall and we'll be having our potluck, and you'll look up, and you'll see a ceiling without a gaping hole. Magic. It's not magic. It took a lot of effort for some of us, all of us really, to be prepared to have the funds to take care of that. But I do need to kind of give a shout out to our now immediate past president of the board, Susan Conley, whose gifts as an architect and demeanor about handling things like this managed to guide that whole process and get us to a wonderful place. So the story is about Susan and me. You see, it took a lot of time being at the church to supervise this taking away, removing of things, the old panels, to make room for something new. And Susan was the one supervising that. So it gave us some time to do something we don't often do, which is to notice aspects of the church. And the challenge was to notice it as a newcomer, someone who hasn't been here for 20 or 30 years. So I said, let's look at the grounds, let's look at the Great Hall, let's look at the sanctuary, and let's do it as though we're coming in for the first time. In fact, some of those of you who are newer here, we should probably ask you to give us a tour so that we can see things through your lens. And we found a lot of interesting things. You know, even the sanctuary. Think about it. What would you notice the first time you come in here? To me, it's the round window. But for somebody else, it might be something else. So we did this everywhere. And my favorite room for this exercise was the heritage room. If you don't know, when you go out these doors, you turn right, takes you to the Great Hall, and then immediately right again is right over there. It's called the heritage room. It's a meeting space. It's an adult religious education space. It's a magical space in many ways. So you walk in, and what's the first thing I see? There are chairs. They're large, luxurious chairs that, like most things in this church, show some signs of having had a purpose. Old, you can say that, but I don't say that about myself. I say that I'm someone who has evidence of having had use and purpose. And that's true of these chairs. But around those chairs are kind of in an ovalish shape. I noticed that. Not quite an oval because they were used recently. And there's a brass table, a round brass table there. And that brass table has a chalice on it, some used matches on it. It has a clear plastic piece that's there to keep the candle wax from many, many different lightings of chalices at meetings or heartfelt joys and tragedies of people's lives. And on the walls, there are pictures of things we don't even know what they're pictures of. And there are plaques, little plaques and big plaques. And there's credenzas. And in those credenzas and on those credenzas is stuff. Lots of stuff. And on those bookshelves, there's books, lots and lots of books. So many books that they barely fit. Right? And if there were dust, if there were room for dust, there'd be dust there. But it's one of those bookshelves, sometimes there's not enough room for dust to show up. But there's precious stuff in there. There are relics, sacred relics for this congregation, tucked on top of the books, between the books. Things like this communion set. Back when communion was taken at this table that we now call an altar, but previously was the communion table for weekly or at least monthly communion way back in the mid-1800s. And there's this thing over here. I still do not know what this thing is, but it has found its own new purpose for the reuse. It also holds used matches. Who knew? I like to think that each of those things that's tucked away there had meaning, such meaning that one of our forebears said, this is such an important story, we don't want to let go of it. And so we keep it on our bookshelves, in our closets, in our sheds, in our hearts. But sometimes they can become so stuffed that the place of honor is now hides that important thing. So I really did have this experience as a kid, and I occasionally get it now, where I get a chance to get out beyond the city lights and look up and see things that I would assume aren't there most of the time because of the cloud cover, because of the light pollution, because of the daylight. When in fact, those stars, they're up there right now. And they're there when I'm in the Eastgate area and all I see are the lights here, those stars, and they're still up there. So what is it that allows something that's meaningful and important not to be created, but to be revealed? And why is it so hard for us to notice those things? I like to think that it was the night, it probably was, it might have been summer, let's say it was a chillier winter evening, and we're looking at the stars, my sister and me, and the other thing we notice is something we take for granted. We breathe in and out many times a day. But for some reason, sometimes on a chilly night or morning, we breathe out, and what do we see? We see our breath. And it's not just because it's some comic book bad breath joke or anything. It's actually our normal breath just showing up, visible for a while, and then it dissipates. Something so vital as breath that's there, and we can see it, and then it joins the rest of the universe. Kind of beautiful. There's the first verse of the book of Ecclesiastes has this comment that often is interpreted, vanity of vanities, all is vanity, or meaningless, all is meaningless. But if you go back, the ancient Hebrew script said, use the word hevel. Hevel, all is hevel. And hevel there refers to mist or vapor. I like that image. Something that I love, it's important, but I can't hold on to. But I still try. Why do I still try to hold on to things that no longer have a use, or that I hoard things that could find another use someplace else? A music book that someone wisely passed on. So I tend to try to look to where can I learn about things. And sometimes it's an ancient book, there's some great ancient books out there to look at, or it's the actual lives of people who inspire me. This whole summer, the worship team has been exploring arts. We call them sacred arts of summer, but arts are a pretty broad category. Like, we have some great artists in this congregation. We call them gardeners. Look how beautiful, next time you look out that window, look how beautiful they have painted things this year. And a gardener knows that part of creating is subtracting. We call it pruning. We call it weeding. Not because those weeds are horrible or that particular piece was a horrible thing. It's not. But by removing some, we make space for beauty to emerge. And poets know that sometimes it's not having the most words in the big volume. Sometimes the beauty comes in the white space, in what's not said, that leaves room for your imagination to fill in, to paint the picture that fits for you in your life. Like the Harjo poem we heard. It may mean something different to Louise or to Anne or to me, but that's because the poet was able to prune away to leave room for us to reinterpret, to be co-creators in this thing we call life. And then, of course, there are those artists that we know as sculptors. Somebody asked Michelangelo, how is it that you create something as beautiful as that out of a big slab of marble? Anybody know what he said? I see the angel inside the slab of marble. And all I do is simply remove enough to free him. What is inside of each of us that could simply be removed? Or what is inside of us that's so important that we need to remove a few things to see it, to let it emerge? There was one other story I wanted to tell you, and then I'll kind of come back to this, because I think this letting go isn't something that comes so naturally for some of us who refer to ourselves as human. Anybody else besides me in that category? So let's just say that in someone's closet somewhere in Cincinnati, there used to be this thing that would stay in this closet for years and years and years. Let's just say it was a robin's egg blue leisure suit with double white stitching on that really wide lapel. Let's just say that someone had actually picked up at a thrift shop thinking, oh, this will be great someday. But the story almost certainly goes back further, right? There probably was another guy who in the early 70s went into a department store and actually paid real money for this thing, thinking, yeah, there's a dance coming up, and if I wore that, I'd look good. And maybe he did. For that moment, when it still fit him, when it still fit the occasion and still fit the era, and then he put it in his closet. As his waist widened, and thought, someday I'm going to wear that again. I'm going to look good again. And 30 years later, probably his kids said, it's time to free this beautiful thing. And that's when this person that you probably guessed who it is, found it at the thrift shop, getting ready for a 70s throwback party. And I look good for that occasion and for that a day when it still fit before my body started widening. So I put it in that closet and it stayed there for over 20 years until my son Grant, coming back from college, said, the fraternity's having a 70s throwback party, Mom. You think Dad's got anything in the closet I might wear? It's a true story, or most of it's true, right, Barb? Yeah. So Barb says something to the effect, oh yes, one condition, don't let it come back in this house. And so far, it hasn't. And since it left, there's room for other stuff in the closet, and it has a chance to have another life someplace else. On Sherry's piano, if it's a book about the Beatles, in somebody else's Halloween costume. Sometimes, in order to have the beauty in your life that needs to emerge, the beauty in the life of our church that needs to emerge, we may need to let some things go. The story doesn't go away just because the leisure suit did. And I don't know what your leisure suit is. It might be a thing, it might be an idea, it might be an attitude, it might be a toxic relationship. I don't know what your someday is. It might be someday I'm going to get around to repairing this relationship. Someday I'm going to get around to this or that. Something that's really important, that deserves a place of honor for a time. But this thing about life is there's folks who say, you just need to declutter, get rid of everything. Or others who say, maybe I just need more in my life. And I don't think it's either one of those. I think it's I need more intention. I need the space, and that's partly why I come to church. The space to be able to breathe deeply and ponder what matters most for now and make room for it. But things like that require practice, Evan. They do. We don't just naturally have these. So we have a practice table right here for you. And if we can maybe have the Zoomers get a chance to look at this first. It's a simple table. Maybe you didn't even notice it when you walked in, or maybe you did and then you forgot it was here. Been here all along. And on there's a beautiful basket that Tracy Joe prepared for us. In the basket, there are some things. And on the table, there are some things. And if you're at home, you probably have a basket, and I bet you have some things. You could recreate this. So what you'll be invited to do is to come up and notice, and you could choose your choice. You could take an object from the table and place it in the basket if you want to. Or you could take something from the basket and place it on the table. You could just move something in the basket if you want to. You could just look at the table and choose to leave it as it is. As my friend Tracy Joe tells me, you are always at choice. But it gives us an opportunity of intention. So if Sherry would share a little bit of soft music for us, I'll invite you, as you're willing and able, to come forward, move, don't move, and let's practice intention. Look what we've created and recreated again. It changed, it shifted, it will change again. It is life. It's the very stuff of our lives. Permanence is an illusion. We carry things for a while in our season, and that is right. And other things, when they've served a purpose, we let go. We're always at choice. And I hope you'll choose to sing with me our closing hymn, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. And I hope that's true for you. We'll rise as we're able, we'll sing that, and at some point we'll start making our way toward the outsides. If it's more comfortable to stay where you are, that's fine too. And folks on Zoom, if you'd care to turn your camera on, we'd love to have that so we can have you join our circle as well. When our heart is in a holy place. Okay. So, you look around, you see the people in this room, and you see that it's not just what we see in this room, because we are bigger. Look at that. Oh, still got folks up there? All right. I saw them, I know they're there. We'll take our time, because it's important to remember it's not just what we see. Beautiful faces are there. That's not Iceland. There they are. There they are. So let's remember to look into one another's eyes. We look this way to see them. We look that way so they can see us at that camera up there.